Alrighty, part 2. Before I begin, if you are someone who does not like what I have to say, my approach, my opinions, or anyone else's who does these kind of videos, if your best, most well thought out response is to do a 17-minute long video filled with profanity-laced tirades, name-calling, and spoken at a 9th grade grammar level, you may want to strongly consider seeking psychiatric help. You may want to consider some type of mental health or anger management counseling before you become a danger to real society. But anyway, what do I have here? This is a basic choice route out of one of my custom run and shoot playbooks. This is the flexbone normal variation. X is running a option route where he can either break off into a deep corner, a hook, a slant, a post. H will go in motion and head down that seam to run a skinny post, a deep post, or stop. H is your check down, vertical clear out by Z. A lot of moving parts in the run and shoot. One of the risk reward elements of it is if both the receivers and quarterback read all the moving parts correctly, very good things can happen. It can be impossible to cover. Downside is if the receiver zigs and the quarterback thinks he's going to zag, bad things can happen. But the point is, you're reading and adjusting on the fly, and the quarterback is looking to see what the receiver does, the receiver is reading the coverage, and you have a whole bunch of moving parts going at full speed trying to read the same thing. Now, if I don't know what the receiver is going to do until he breaks, unless I just guess and hope he gets it right, then how in the world is the defender supposed to know? Let's find out and see what happens. Alright, here is the previously diagrammed play. Choice. This is my best overall receiver, Frankie Hammond. Best overall as far as speed, awareness, route running, all that good stuff. He's my best receiver on my team. And he is up against the Honey Badger. I throw the ball right here because I think he's going to keep on extending his route deep because there's no one outside or no one deep of the corner. But he breaks his route off short. Now, I don't have a problem with him making a mistake. No one's perfect. No one gets it right all the time. As you can see, with all that vacated space, it would have been great for him to keep on going. But what I do have a problem is the Psychic Badger knowing he's going to break off the route before he does. That cannot happen. This is the single worst thing in the game. And it is highly, highly annoying. I've had conversations with people who I am in leagues with, and I'm of the opinion that half of the interceptions thrown in the game are user error. The other half is a result of things like this, where the defender either has been programmed to make a predetermined jump on the route, no matter whether or not he's in position to do so, or some other case of the AI deciding to flip its switch and simply say, no, you're not going to complete this pass today, or this down. Just let the play out. That's all anyone would ask or expect. He should not be making this turn because he has no idea. He doesn't know the ball is thrown because the receiver hasn't given any key that the ball's been put in the air. So that has to be corrected. Not good. Not good at all. Similar scenario, this time it's a play action pass. I see that my receiver gets the inside position, so I let the ball go. There's nothing wrong with players getting beat. It happens on every play. Someone gets beat on every play, on offense or on defense. Reward the person for making the right read, and if a guy is beat, then move on to the next play. If the user makes a mistake and throws to a covered receiver, then punish him as he should be punished. But don't cheat me because you have decided, Mr. Computer AI, that I'm not going to complete the pass. Back in my day, we had a drill that we put defensive backs through where we would have the DB line up on the outside shoulder of a receiver. We'd have the receiver run an inside route, and we would run a drill that was designed to, help our defensive backs not panic when they had to make up ground. And we would try to teach them, how to reach over with their outside arm to deflect the ball while using their inside arm to get away with as much contact as they could to, help bring down the receiver in case they either whiffed on the ball or had to recover really quickly to make a tackle. If that's what that defensive back did in this play, I would say, hey, good, great play. At least I know why the pass was incomplete, as opposed to just sitting there saying, well, the AI, pulled a fast one on me on that one. Just allow the play to play out in a way that makes sense. Well, what do you know? That animation is in the game. I don't think the game lacks animations. I think the problem is the animations don't always trigger at the appropriate times. Now, I'm not a programmer, so I have no idea how to fix that. But when I see stuff like this, that tells me the animations are there. When I do user catches with receivers, I see all kinds of great, contests for the football and catch animations. The animations are in the game. They just have to be unlocked. Okay, what's going on here? This is from a online franchise game I just played. I'm Arizona going up against Philly, and here Michael Vick just barely gets this pass off before just getting detonated by Joey Porter and Calais Campbell. Someone had posed the question about part 1. And what they asked was, well, basically they said that, is it just their imagination, or are defensive tackles better pass rushers than defensive ends? And I get what he's saying. It's not that defensive tackles are better pass rushers than defensive ends. It's that there's an imbalance between power rushers and finesse speed rushers. What do I mean? Well, as you saw right there, Calais Campbell is a finesse move defensive end. Joey Porter, he's a linebacker who I have playing defensive end in the 4-3 because he has good enough block shedding to do a decent job against the run, and he also has a good power pass rush move. But generally speaking, the defensive linemen with high power pass rush moves perform better than those with high finesse move ratings. And that's not to say that guys like Trent Cole, Dwight Freeney, DeMarcus Ware, Robert Mathis, that those guys aren't very good. They certainly are. As a matter of fact, I have a link to my Indianapolis Colts highlight reel, and you'll see Freeney and Mathis doing their thing. But what also happens is that your mediocre power move defensive lineman, a guy with a power move rating of, say, in the mid to high 70s or a low 80, he's going to be much more effective than a comparably rated finesse move defensive lineman of 77 or, say, 80. And if you have a defensive lineman or a pass rusher with power move ratings in the high 80s or in the 90s combined with a high block shed rating, you're going to have a unblockable beast. So there needs to be a balance between the two styles of pass rusher. And that leads me to something else. I do not want to see defensive linemen in a 3-4 leading their team in sacks. I would like to see one of these days a football game get the 3-4 correct. No one has come remotely close. And that includes a sacred cow of 2K football. I have another link underneath the video description called Why Can't Games Get the 3-4 Defense Correct? And I happen to be talking about that while playing a game of All Pro Football 2K8 running the 3-4 defense. So if that freaks you out, well, too bad. But one of these days, I'd like to see the 3-4 defense programmed correctly. There's really no reason to run a 3-4 other than you just have a bunch of really good linebackers that you want to get on the field. Generally speaking, I don't have too many issues with the run blocking. If you focus on running to numbers, run behind your best guys as much as possible, consistently decent results will happen. You'll pop some big runs. And yeah, there are times when the game brain farts and a dude shoots through and blows up your runs, which, I mean, it's gonna happen. But on the whole, there's not a whole heck of a lot to quibble about. And what there is revolves around Ncaa more so than Madden because of the prevalence of the spread. And there are some issues with the spread running game, mainly with the QB runs and the option running game out of the shotgun and also out of the flex bone in some plays as well. What I think EA does is that I think that they intentionally underprogram things and deliberately make certain plays or styles of plays under-effective because they're afraid that people may find a way to exploit them and cheese if they are executed properly. That's the wrong mentality to have. Program the play properly. Program play action to work the way play action should. Program the zone read and the QB running game to work the way it should. In college football, it's not uncommon for QBs to run for 1,000 yards. But that type of performance is impossible in this game because your QB's either going to fumble the ball 1,000,000 times or he's going to get hurt. The QBs that can run the spread option style of offense, they need to be able to run like running backs. Denard Robinson runs like a running back. Cam Newton runs like a running back. Pat White, same thing. These guys run like tailbacks. They need to have their ratings reflect that. And Just program it to run properly, because you're never going to be able to stop people from exploiting a game. Anytime someone can make money off of doing something, you're not going to stop it. And there are people who make money off of that, selling guides and whatnot. So just focus on making the offense run correctly. That's all. Because, right now, if I hop online on Ncaa 12 and someone, picks Michigan, I just laugh, and tries to run around Denard Robinson. It's an easy win for me, because I don't have to account for him running the ball on design QB keepers, because they're too easy to defend. So get that correct. But other than that, I feel that these games were very good, very solid games. Definitely improvements from the past renditions, and I look forward to seeing what they have in store for us for Madden 13 and Ncaa 13. And then until those games drop, I'll continue to do what I do, playing these games, doing my commentaries, and having fun with these games. So that is pretty much that for this. So talk to y'all later. Peace.